the best meal of your life doesn't feel as good the 10th time you chase it. Pleasure is real, but is it a life? Is it a good life? Most of us then move into the achievement phase of our lives. We gather promotions, titles, numbers in our bank account, the things around us. These days it all gets displayed like the old generation's piano top family photos. Look, world, we say. Look, my 5,000 online friends. This is the good life. Otherwise, I wouldn't be posting it. Drink in one hand, someone else in the other, on a beach maybe that most people on the planet will never get to see. I've counseled plenty of people whose social media feeds would have you thinking that they've got it all worked out. So why so many tears on my sofa? Before I go on, personalize this. Ask yourself a question. Not when were you happiest, because happiness comes and goes and can be wiped out by a stubbed toe or a surprise credit card bill. Ask yourself, when were you most content? It's a quieter word. It's steadier. It might be the better clue leading to your own understanding of a good life, your good life. A lot of us think utter freedom is the good life, so we chase the unencumbered life. Fewer obligations, more self-reliance. There's truth in that. Too much dependence on others can weigh us down. But a good life has a surprising facet to it. Interdependence, deep, active relationships, reliability and reliance. The American notion of rugged individualism. In the old movies, the cowboy in the movie riding off into the sunset alone shouldn't be mistaken for something that it isn't. There's also a good life sold to us right now through wellness routines, through productivity systems, biohacking, personal branding. It looks disciplined, it looks serious, nothing like hedonism on the surface, but look closer. It's often just an industry convincing you that the good life is a more optimized version of you, achieved alone through better input, through better sleep, through better supplements, better coffee, better workouts, all fine things to want. None of them add up to a life that means something, because every one of them can be completely or completed without another human being ever entering the picture. Especially these days when your coach is online or even an AI companion. These personal improvement pursuits aren't bad. They're just incomplete. Each one is an ingredient mistaken for what I'd say is the whole recipe. And they all go flat for the same reason. They keep the camera pointed at you, at your pleasure, at your achievement. You can do everything right by those measures and still feel strangely alone in the middle of your beautiful life, because nothing in the recipe ever required another person to actually need you. So what's the missing ingredient? You can already see the direction I'm heading. Consider this. Half of American adults, I know I'm speaking to people around the globe, but half of American adults now report feeling lonely on a regular basis. A few years ago, the U.S. Surgeon General called it a public health epidemic. I know the UK had the same. Chronic isolation carries a health risk on par with smoking, up to 15 cigarettes a day. I've said this before. It raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, early death. Now, that's not a soft concern. That's a crisis hiding behind a word that sounds almost cozy. I remember a tiny woman, I mean tiny, named Lillian, 4 feet tall, about a meter and a bit, on a box. We were laying her 107-year-old sister Anne to rest, and despite her grief, I saw in Lillian an irrepressible spark. When the moment was right, I asked her, "What's the answer?" And she knew the question without my having to ask it. Loudly, too loudly, she said, "We didn't drink, we didn't smoke, we didn't carouse. We ate our fruits and vegetables." And then she added, "But the key to a long life and a good life," she said, "always do for others." Here's what I've seen consistently across these decades of my work. The good life isn't a feeling you arrive at. It's something you build deliberately. And the single most reliable building material is service to others, to another person or a community. In 1935, 2 men in Akron, Ohio, Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob Smith, founded AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. This wasn't ancient wisdom, though it was built on it. This was 2 alcoholics trying anything that might keep them sober, discovering something through pure trial and error. The 12 steps that they built have since helped millions of people, I know many of them, across 9 decades with every kind of addiction. Look at how the program ends. Step 12, having had a spiritual experience as the result of this course of action, we tried to carry this message to others. not having recovered, go enjoy your life now. The final step of 12, the one that seals the previous 11, is turn around and help the next person still suffering. That's not a footnote in recovery culture. It's close to the whole engine of it. Ask anyone sober a long time what keeps them sober, and many of them will tell you, as they've told me, it's sponsoring someone else. It's sitting with a newcomer at 2 a.m. It's taking the panicked phone call. Picture that scene, someone with years of hard-won sobriety, woken at 2 a.m. by a person they barely know, but doing it anyway, because some part of them has learned in their bones that showing up for that stranger is what keeps their own footing solid as well. The program figured out empirically that a person's own recovery is safest when it's tied to someone else's. An ancient wisdom tradition, a modern secular movement built on trial and error. Neither one took from the other, though they learned from each other. Both concluded that stability for a human being runs through service to someone else, not around it. There's even a name for this in clinical literature. It's great. It's called the helper therapy principle. Think about that. The person doing the helping often benefits more than the person being helped. We know that from our experiences. That's the entire AA sponsorship model, given a clinical name many decades later. Rumination is a trap you build for yourself in isolation. Service to another person is one of the few things strong enough to spring it, to release you, to free you toward the good life. So here's where this lands. Let me tell you what I actually tell people. I'm not a physician. I can't write a prescription for medication, and I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that authority if I had it. But I can prescribe something else. I can prescribe something that in the great majority of cases moves a person in the right direction. Service to others, generosity of spirit, prescribed for millennia, tested in every generation since, still highly effective. If you're at a loss right now for what to dream of, what to chase, what your purpose is supposed to be, well, first of all, look at some of my other episodes on this. Great guests talking about that. But here's what I'd ask you to do in the meantime, not instead of that, and not instead of deeper work. While you're doing it, serve another person today. That can mean a telephone call right now. Serve a community. Sit with someone who's sick. Show up for someone who's grieving, who's alone, who's struggling as you have struggled. Mentor someone younger who's lost. Volunteer for something that has nothing to do with your career or your image. Find one person or one place that needs you and give them your time. You will sleep better that night, not because you solved the whole future, not because you solved your whole problem, but because you proved to yourself in one concrete act that you already have something worth giving right now. You got out of your story into someone else's. That's incredible. It doesn't require a grand plan. It can be extremely small. As I said, it can be showing up at a hospital for the person nobody else remembered to visit that day or that week, or enough times. It can be the meal you bring to a family after a loss. It can be the hour or 10 minutes you give a struggling friend on the phone instead of the hour you spent scrolling or on the television. Mentoring a young person consistently, even when you don't feel like you have all the qualifications necessary. The volunteer shift you almost talk yourself out of. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be in person, though in person is usually stronger medicine. Checking in on the neighbor who lives alone just because using a professional skill you have, accounting, writing, legal knowledge, isn't the same. Do this for free. Do it once. Do it for someone else who needs it. Being the person who organizes the meal train instead of waiting for someone else to do that, it doesn't require anything formal of us in terms of a title or education, just goodness and a commitment and a specific need and meeting it. None of this will show up on your resume. None of it is designed to be seen in that way. That, if anything else, is the whole point. The good life is built less out of the things people applaud you for and more out of the things you do when no one is watching or no one is counting.